A sledgehammer strikes cockpit glass on a Texas highway, then a shovel pries at the frame. These are not firefighters. They are strangers on Loop 20 in Laredo, breaking into a burning jet that just crashed with 6 people aboard on the night of June 16th, 2026. No sirens yet. No emergency crews in sight. Just ordinary people who decided in a split second to run toward a disaster no one yet understood. Headlights illuminate a thick wall of smoke as traffic grinds to a halt. Motorists throw open their doors and sprint directly toward the nose of the aircraft. Before police or fire engines can navigate the sudden highway gridlock, multiple strangers reach the burning fuselage. Laminated aviation glass blocks their path, trapping those inside a cabin rapidly filling with dark smoke. 2 men swing their tools against the windshield, fracturing the reinforced layers to pry open a gap. Other drivers join the effort, ignoring the threat of a fuel explosion on the hot asphalt. Without protective gear, communication, or a professional perimeter, these individuals work deep within the danger zone, focused entirely on creating a path for survival. The aircraft at the center of this sudden emergency was a Cessna Citation Latitude, Model 680A, bearing the registration N523QS. Operated by the private aviation firm NetJets, this twin-engine business jet is a highly utilized aircraft in executive fleets, designed for transcontinental routes and equipped with a modern glass cockpit. On the afternoon of June 15th, 2026, the twin jet was prepared for departure at San Jose del Cabo International Airport, situated near the southern tip of Mexico's Baja California Peninsula. With 6 people on board, the aircraft taxied to the runway and departed into the evening sky at approximately 6:18 p.m. local time. The pilots had filed an instrument flight plan with aviation authorities, designating Austin Bergstrom International Airport in Central Texas as their destination. Under normal conditions, the flight was scheduled to progress northeast across the Gulf of California, enter United States airspace over South Texas, and complete its arrival in Austin in under 2 hours. During the initial phases of the flight, the aircraft climbed to its planned cruising altitude of 30,000 feet. Data logs indicate that the twin jet proceeded along its established air traffic control routing without any immediate signs of operational issues. The Cessna Citation Latitude, known for its spacious cabin and dependable performance characteristics, is engineered with safety redundancies designed to manage system anomalies. However, as the aircraft crossed deep into Texas airspace, the routine nature of the flight changed. The flight crew requested a diversion, turning the business jet away from its original Austin destination and setting a new course toward Laredo International Airport. This shift in the flight path redirected the aircraft from a standard passenger transit into an active emergency diversion. At approximately 9:55 p.m. local time, Laredo Tower received a transmission from the flight crew of the Citation Latitude. The pilots reported a mechanical issue and requested immediate vectors to Laredo International Airport. Air traffic controllers quickly acknowledged the distress call, directing the aircraft to line up for an emergency visual approach to runway 9. Following this brief exchange, the window to coordinate a safe arrival closed. Within minutes of reporting the technical anomaly, air traffic control lost all voice contact with the flight crew, and the radios fell silent. A DSB flight tracking data from Flight Radar 24 and FlightAware provides the only remaining record of the aircraft's final minutes. After turning toward Laredo, the business jet began a rapid, steady descent, losing altitude at a rate that indicated an escalating emergency. The flight tracking logs show the twin jet continuing its downward path, eventually drifting left of the runway centerline as it neared the airport's outer boundary. At approximately 9:58 p.m., the tracking signal cut out entirely. The final recorded data packet placed the aircraft at roughly 600 feet above ground level, traveling at high speed. This last position was logged about 2.5 miles short of the runway threshold, placing the aircraft directly over the path of Loop 20. The transponder signal vanished from radar, leaving controllers with empty screens as the descending jet crossed the highway perimeter. The twin-engine business jet descended directly into the traffic-heavy lanes of Texas State Highway Loop 20. At approximately 10:02 p.m., the aircraft struck the asphalt of the eastbound lanes near the intersection of Saunders and Clark Streets, just feet from unsuspecting motorists. Traveling at high speed, the Citation Latitude skidded violently down the roadway. The impact sheared a heavy steel streetlight, throwing sparks and debris across the concrete barrier. As the fuselage slid forward, the aircraft's wing clipped a moving passenger vehicle. The driver of that vehicle survived the collision with non-life-threatening injuries, though the impact spun the car across the lanes. The jet came to a stop on its side along the highway median. The force of the landing split the fuselage significantly, detaching the heavy tail section entirely from the cabin. Ruptured fuel tanks immediately spilled flammable aviation fuel across the hot asphalt, igniting a massive fireball that engulfed the wreckage. Thick black smoke billowed into the night sky, visible for miles around the Saunders-Clark interchange. Within seconds, a routine metropolitan highway transformed into an active disaster zone. The crash blocked both directions of Loop 20, trapping dozens of commuting motorists in a sudden, smoking gridlock. As the fire spread along the split fuselage, the immediate threat of a major fuel explosion loomed over the entire area, leaving those trapped on the highway to face a fast-moving emergency. Laredo fire engines arrived within minutes of the impact, immediately spraying water onto the burning fuselage to suppress the intense heat and prevent the fire from spreading to the fuel tanks. While crew members worked to contain the blaze, a firefighter positioned a small ladder against the breached cockpit and climbed directly into the smoke-filled cabin to locate the last remaining passenger. Working in close coordination with on-scene police officers and emergency medical technicians, crews secured the passenger and brought them safely through the opening. This rapid effort blended immediate bystander action with a structured professional response, successfully pulling 5 survivors from the wreckage. Paramedics stabilized the 5 surviving occupants before ambulances transported them to local hospitals in stable condition. The chaotic environment and heavy smoke took a physical toll on those who rushed to help, and 5 Laredo police officers who entered the cabin during the rescue required immediate medical attention and were treated at the scene for smoke inhalation. With all survivors accounted for, emergency crews shifted to securing the wreckage, closing down all lanes of Loop 20 to establish a secure perimeter for the incoming investigative teams. The flashing lights of the emergency perimeter now mark a federal investigation site. Investigators confirmed that 1 person died in the crash, though authorities have withheld the victim's name and exact location pending formal identification and family notification. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board have taken the lead in reconstructing the final minutes of the flight. Joining them, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is providing forensic and technical support on the ground. At this stage, officials have not determined a cause for the mechanical issues reported by the crew, and both local leaders and federal investigators have cautioned against early speculation. The physical wreckage, flight data, and recorded tower transmissions remain the sole reliable sources of evidence as the multi-agency inquiry begins. While investigators search the wreckage for answers, the lasting truth of Loop 20 is already clear. When disaster strikes, survival depends on the courage of nearby strangers. That instinct to run toward danger remains our greatest safety net. What would you have done? Share your thoughts below.